and welcome to another episode of the Paradigm Project podcast with myself, Mark Ray. This podcast is designed to help entrepreneurs, business owners, and to be honest, anyone that is willing to listen with their health and fitness. If you are in the game of high performance, longevity, pain-free performance, strength training, nutrition, you name it, and you want to use those elements to make you a lean, mean, fast fighting machine, then this is the place for you. So buckle up because we have another episode ahead of us. What is up? Now, usually when I do podcasts, I always have a bit of an agenda. I'll grab my phone and I'll pop in some notes, things I want to talk about, like topics like you've seen. If you go through the list of podcasts, you'll see me talking about like nutrition, stress management. The last podcast I was talking about the 6 areas I would look over if I was an entrepreneur struggling with health and fitness and I wanted to start making positive changes to that. Now today, I don't really have an agenda. I don't have anything wrote down. My phone is empty. I don't have any notes, so this could go horribly wrong for the next 10 minutes, but I just had an overriding feeling and urge just to try and put out a bit of, I would say, a common sense, but just a bit of a sense of reality to those of you who listen to this or will catch wind of this, who just aren't taking care of themselves, both physically and mentally. But to be honest, with this episode, we're just going to chat about the physical. The mental might creep in as well, but like, it baffles me how many people just don't prioritize their health and fitness. Now, I'm not telling you to do what I do, okay? And I go to the gym 4 or 5 days a week. I run twice, maybe 3 days a week. I walk maybe 12 to 13,000 steps a day. I cycle to and from the gym. Now, this isn't me blowing smoke on my own ass and telling you how great I am. It's really not. I'm just telling you what I do. Now, there are people that blow me out of the water and do more than I do, and there's people that do less. But the one thing I don't want you to do, and it's the first point I want to make, is I don't want you to compare yourself to me or compare yourself to others at all. Okay, it's stuff I've done before in the past, whether it's been with business, fitness, relationships, whatever it is. When I've compared myself to others, it's only ever got me anxious, stressed, depressed, and it never works. Okay, never a good thing comes from comparing yourself. If you can compare yourself and do it with the viewpoint of motivation and it light a fire under your ass, then amazing. But in my experience, more often than not, you don't really get too much motivation from it. You just get a bit of a sorry dose of reality, or well, actually, to be honest, it's not reality. So, because most of the shit you see online ain't real. But that's the first point I want to make, is don't compare yourself. But the overriding message I want to get across in these next few minutes is, if you're sat there listening to this, maybe you're sat there in your nice car, in your lovely house, maybe you're on holiday, you've got your kids over there, your wife, your husband, whatever it is, whoever it is, and you're currently not doing whatever you can in your power to make sure that you are the best possible version of yourself that there can be, then you're not only letting yourself down in a massive way, you're letting those that you care about and love you the most, you're letting them down in a big, big, big way. And you're letting them down in a way that in 5 years' time, 10 years' time, you might not be sat on that chair in your nice car or in your nice house, because to put it bluntly, you might be in the ground. Okay, now that might sound super extreme or a bit morbid, but to be honest, there are a few things in the world that like I'll get a little bit angry about. I'm quite a laid back person, or get serious about, and that's someone's health. Like, people seem to be under this illusion that they can just keep doing the same shit over and over again when it comes to their health, and then there's no consequences. Okay, there are consequences when you live a poor, unhealthy lifestyle, and that consequence at its most extreme can be death. Okay, yes, death. Like, this shit is serious. When you don't look after yourself, when you are, pardon my French, when you are a lazy piece of shit, when you don't prioritize your physical health, when you don't eat right, when you don't exercise, when you don't get enough steps, when you don't sleep enough, when you don't manage your stress, When you don't do all these things, that equates to poor health. And poor health over a long period of time can lead to early death. And it's just as simple as that. Now there are outliers. There are people that you'll hear like, oh, Granny used to smoke 60 fags a day and she lived till 95. And yes, those cases can be true. But more often than not, if you lead an unhealthy life and you have like unhealthy negative habits, those habits will soon come and bite you in the ass and put you in an early grave. Okay, it's just as simple as that. So that's what I want to get across. I want to make it just blatantly obvious, and I don't want to give you what I'm doing is I am taking the excuses out of your hand. Okay, I'm going to get a bit real for a few minutes. I don't want you to sit there in a few years' time and maybe say like, oh, I had X and Y to do, or maybe I'm building a new business. A common one I get quite often, because obviously I work with a lot of busy entrepreneurs that, to be honest, are running bigger businesses that I could ever dream of, and that most people listen to this could ever dream of, are wildly successful, both in their careers and also in their family life and personal life as well. But you know what? The one thing they all have in common is that they all have a massive priority placed on their health and fitness. It wasn't always like that. They came to me with obviously goals and aspirations, and a lot of the times it was just to tick a box. But obviously, working with me, such an amazing coach, and then they start to find that passion and love and desire to get better with their health and fitness. So I'm taking the excuses out of your hand. I don't care how many hours of the day you think you have or you don't have, how many days of the week you're busy and you've got work commitments and family commitments and relationships and you got to walk the dog and whatever it is. Okay, I'm taking all that shit out of your hands and just telling you plain and simple down this camera of mine, speaking into my podcast microphone, and telling you that nobody is coming to do the work for you. Is that it all boils down to you. If you are a lazy piece of shit, then I'm afraid that's just down to you. If you want to be the healthiest, happiest, and strongest version of yourself, then it's only you that can do the work. And it's just as simple as that. Your health comes down to you. Like if I was your coach, I can tell you what to do. I can show you what to do. I can teach you what to do. I can advise you what to do, and I can give you the strategies and help you implement them, or give you the resources that are going to help you get to your goals as quickly and as effectively as you possibly can. The one thing I can't do for any of my clients, as much as I love them all, is I cannot make you or them do the work. Okay, that boils down to you. As I just said, nobody is coming to save you. The work has to be done by you and you alone. So this is a reality check. That's all I wanted this episode to be, is just a reality check, in the hope that if even one person listens to this and they go, do you know what? Mark is talking sense. I've been sat on my butt for too long. I've been and ahhing on this. And if I don't do anything now, like, I don't think I'll see my 50th birthday, or maybe I won't see my kids grow old. Maybe I won't see them hit 10. Maybe I won't see my grandkids. All that shit that you need to take serious, because it's the uncomfortable things that we're avoiding that we need to work on the most. Like, growth happens when you approach those uncomfortable situations. If you get good at those uncomfortable things, like going to the gym, prepping your food, going to sleep when you don't want to go to sleep, when in reality, they're all pretty easy things. Like, you ain't out on a bloody battlefield or hunting for food. Like, the shit I'm getting you to do or want you to do is easy. It's just the implementation that's hard. Okay, tracking your calories and going to the gym, like, it's not hard. Okay, let's be real. It's not hard. Implementing it consistently, because of this old piece of shit up here, your mind, that's what makes it tricky. Okay, if I could hypnotize you or get the bloody genie out of the bottle and tell him to get John or Mary. Why is it always those two names, John and Mary? It must be an Irish thing. And get them to only think positive when it comes to their health and fitness and make the implementation 100%, then their life would change. It would change like that. Okay, they would be healthier, happier, fitter, sexier, bloody more carefree. You name it, and their longevity will go through the roof because they're able to implement. Okay. The reason we don't implement is because of this. Okay. It's not a lack of information. Like Christ Almighty, we have this. Like, if you can use this right, and you know the right prompts to give ChatGPT, never mind Google anymore, ChatGPT, like you know everything. There's more information and knowledge on that than there is in all the books in the world. I think that there is. And so the information is not the problem. It's the implementation. And implementation comes down to this, your own noggin. So if you can get better at implementing, then your health will change, your physique, your mind, your productivity, your business, your relationships, your family. All that would change for the positive. So yeah, that's just what I wanted to share. I wanted to create a bit of urgency and a bit of like I wanted to scare you a bit, to be honest. I wanted to scare you into action if you are in that position where you're not doing enough for your health. Maybe you're 50 pounds overweight. Maybe you're 20 pounds overweight, which you're like, oh, like 20 pounds, it isn't that much. Like it's just creeped up on me. I don't look too bad, but I don't care about what you look like. It's how you feel. How are you moving? How are you performing? What do your blood works look like? What's your cholesterol look like? What's your resting heart rate? Your heart rate variability, your blood pressure. What are those things like? If your blood pressure is consistently like 160 over 120, never mind the 20 pounds and how it makes you look in your jeans, like that shit will kill you. Maybe not now, maybe not in 2 years, 3 years, but if you continue that trend, eventually enough dominoes will be knocked over. I don't mean the pizza. And one thing will lead to another. Maybe you develop higher blood pressure or you gain even more weight. Maybe you have higher blood pressure because you can't exercise as much. And maybe you don't exercise as much because you've got high blood pressure. And you see where I'm going here. And then you have a heart attack 10 years down the line. All hypothetical situations, but you get the kind of picture I'm trying to paint. That can all be fixed, all be prevented. You can live to your 80, 90, 100. God, like with modern medicine now, you might live to your 120. You might get your mind put into a robot the way Elon's going. Who the hell knows? I don't want you to pass away 20, 30 years earlier because you didn't put the work in and you just weren't committed to your health and fitness, because that's a sorry sight for a lot of people. And then you see some people, like in the news this week was the sad news of Sir Chris Hoy, one of Britain's best Olympians ever. A super, Christ, like super is not even the right word, like godlike fitness and strength. You don't win as many gold medals as he did in the Olympics and not be a superhuman when it comes to cardiovascular fitness, strength, power, endurance, you name it. Yet the poor guy had terminal cancer. So it had nothing to do with his like physical abilities, and like it's not like he wasn't training and eating right and all that sort of stuff and sleeping well. He was doing the whole marginal gains with Sir Dave Brailsford, 1%, like go to bed 20 minutes earlier. All this, so he was doing all that, but unfortunately he was just dealt a bad hand. And yeah, so like he's only got a few years left to live. But if you're lucky enough to avoid that sort of stuff, and then it's just you versus you, as in you are responsible for your health, and there's no like touch wood, like circumstances like that in the future, then you owe it to yourself, you owe it to the ones around you, you owe it to people like that like Sir Chris, that have had their opportunity for like a longer life from what we're hearing, like taken away. You owe it to the people like that to put the work in and make sure you can live as long as you possibly can, feel as good as you possibly can for the rest of your life. Okay, and it's as simple as that. And I'm going to finish on that because it got a bit somber, but I'm just trying to paint that picture that like if we're lucky, we get like 70 years on this planet. You could be really lucky and make it 80, 90, like amazing years, but we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. Like I said, touch wood again. So please, like, don't neglect your health. Don't neglect your physical health, your mental health, but most importantly, just put the work in, because you owe it to your family, your friends, your kids, your colleagues, your employees, your dog, to just do the most that you possibly can. So yeah, that's what I want to leave with today. I hope that's a little bit of a fire underneath your ass. And as always, come back for another episode. Maybe the next episode is a bit more cheerful than this. I'll talk about something a bit more peak performance, and maybe some nutrition tips, who knows. But yeah, if you like that episode, you know the drill. Hit the like, subscribe, share it with your friends, give them a kick up the ass and light that fire under them. And maybe share this with someone that could change their life. Maybe you'll help them live for an extra 20, 30 years. And it can be as simple as that for you and them. So yeah, until next time, catch you soon.